Tom, we were just talking about, some of the challenges that we have building things, getting things done. And I want to be fair about this and not be too judgmental, perhaps. Obviously, I do believe that the federal government has to take its share of the blame, but maybe it's not just a political problem. Give me your sense of your assessment of corporate Canada. Are they up to the job as well?
Well, I can't speak for corporate Canada. I think people running corporations are trying to do the best job they can with the country. But, I kind of think government, maybe it's a philosophical, I think government should be in the background providing the environment for people, whether they be people in corporations or individuals, to realize their greatest potential. The challenge in the corporate world is almost every business lobby has no voice in Ottawa, none whatsoever. We might as well drive up there in tractor trailers and protest again because we're going to get the same result. Well, they might not freeze their bank accounts, but there's not an openness to back and forth. If you look again, back to the Second War, you had the dollar-a-year men from the corporate world and government moving back and forth. There was a liaison that was talking. Now, to quote years ago, there's like two solitudes. It's just nobody talks to each other.
Right.
And I know several groups that have gone to Ottawa, and I've spoken to the provincial government about the strangulation of how we regulate businesses so incredibly in this business. And you're getting that's fine. Really, thank you for coming. We really value the nonsense, and nothing gets done. So I think what happens in the corporate world, and remember, nobody's blameless. We're all flawed here. But it seems to me that there's got to be a greater openness to dealing with growth, dealing with future potential. I look at the city of Toronto. When I look back at the people who were, Gardner Expressway, Mayor Phillips, building the city, building a city for the future, building a subway, and we got off the building for the future. And I think that's true right through the country. We're trying to piece off and buy votes in the now versus a vision. And I think one of the worst things that I've seen in my time in this country was when the Prime Minister was debasing our pride in our country with all that trying to win support from interest groups of how bad we were as a country. No, we weren't. That's just lobbying kind of thing. But to pull down our pride in our country, a leader to do that is of no account. And we've got to get to the point of confidence, pride, enthusiasm, optimism, and let's go do something. That kind of vision. And we don't seem to be getting it from anywhere. And that's true of the corporate world too. It can be anywhere where everybody's gone into a holding pattern where the major concerns are just being politically correct. It's a joke. You can't say anything to anybody or criticize anything or say, let's get back to basics. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm ranting on that.
No, I do appreciate it.
It's easy to go there.
Yeah. Let's talk about labor shortages. You did mention that earlier on in the broadcast, obviously an issue too. How do we get more workers to work, do you think?
It's really interesting because, I've said to some of the people who stayed away and decided to run their business from their patios, I wouldn't have hired one person in our firm if during the interview you said to me, I'm going to be working from my home. No, you're not hired. Boom. But what happened? We had to make this allowance during the COVID problem. But what was an accommodation during a national crisis has now been perceived as a right, if you will,
right,
to work at home. And somehow employees think they're doing their employer a favor by coming into work from time to time. It doesn't work that way. If you change the rules, the game doesn't change. And so it's very hard getting people back into the office. And yet nobody wants to be draconian. And some people say, well, I'd rather, work from home and go in a day a week. And I hear this work-life balance. I don't know one rich person who's ever mentioned work-life balance to me. I've never had a balance in my life. I do my job as best I can and do my, cater to my family needs as best I can. But I know where my responsibilities are to provide for my family. It's a different mindset. And I don't know how we change that. That's almost sociological than anything else. I don't know the change that, but it does. You are bidding up salaries. But maybe if we have a recession, maybe some of the fellows that are home or gals that are home are going to find themselves, they have to stay at home. So who knows? We'll see.
Indeed, and really, it'll be very interesting to see whether this is as a result of the times that we're in, COVID, and then maybe a downturn, or whether it is a real change of attitude that's ongoing.